Nope, back up, Duke. It's the same possum that's probably been coming back every time. He likes to eat our figs. I don't blame him. I got good figs. All right, just finished up a live stream. I'm gonna try to go live every Friday morning and do. I like to do coffee in the garden, but a lot of times whenever I'm going live, my neighbor's landscaper will show up and be mowing right in the middle of it. So we're gonna walk out here and check out the garden, and then we're gonna go run to my dad's and water his garden for him because he is in the he's the Grand Canyon right now. So let's go outside and switch over to my sunglasses. Woo. It is a beautiful morning. Not a cloud in the sky. Not a single cloud in the sky. Lantanas are blooming beautifully. These are one of my favorites because no matter how hot it is, they don't care. The peppers are doing pretty good. See the bougainvillea up here. Bougainvilleas are doing good. Got some new blooms on this one. Over here and check out the Vitex. Vitex have got to be my favorite. I had this Vitex growing in a pot for several years, and I hooked up with Vigo, these metal raised garden beds, and they sent me a couple, and I had a bunch of spare pieces. So instead of making another 6x4x6 bed over here, I made a 6x6 and put it in the middle of the yard because I have no shade. And I was thinking, since I already had this Vitex, they grow really fast. It'll grow fast and put some shade in my backyard and kind of help my plants out, help my grass out. So this is done really well, and you can see my squash is doing good all spring and summer. This is I believe a golden squash, and then over here got 8-ball zucchinis, and I'm excited. You can see right there, there's a little tiny 8-ball zucchini right there. And these have got to be my favorite. The 8-ball zucchinis are my favorite. Oh, I'm out here early enough. We can go check on this new hibiscus that I got this year. I got excited and bought some bare root plants this year. And this is a bluebird alfea. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a purplish blue alfea. So beautiful. And usually by the time I get home, they already look like this. So it's nice in the morning when I come out here and check everything out. Beautiful blooms. My alamanda is blooming. I've had this alamanda for probably 2 or 3 years. I actually got it like at the grocery store outside, and it's in a pot, but it's at least 4 feet tall now, which is so cool. And they are easy to propagate. And if y'all don't know, I am a big time propagator, so I'll be doing plenty of propagation videos. This is my Shelter Logic greenhouse structure. I took the tarp off the top in early spring and added this 40% shade cloth, and it's been housing all my tomatoes. You can see some of my tomatoes are 7 foot tall now. I didn't take down all my tomatoes, just some of them. The cucumbers. The cucumbers have been trellising up the side. I got cattle panels right here, and then they start grabbing onto the shade cloth. You can see right here, it is actually crawling up underneath the shade cloth. You want to guide them because they'll try to go on the outside. If you guide them in, they'll climb on the inside of it. And we've got a couple of different varieties. This is the Cool Customer that I got from San Diego Seed Company. Shout out to them. And then, hey, here's Duke. Hey, Duke. Hey, buddy. Then we got the striped Armenian cucumbers, which have been doing amazing. If you're somewhere where it's really hot, definitely recommend these Armenian cucumbers. They don't care about the heat at all, but they're doing even better under the shade cloth. And I've been picking so many. I have found that you can let them get big if you want, but if you pick them a little smaller, like about 8 to 10 inches, they're a lot a lot more tender. All the hanging baskets underneath here. We got bees on the cucumber flowers over here. My neighbor actually has bees in the side of his house. He's had hell with it. In the corner where the hardy plank meets the brick, they have just been invading his house. He's had them cut out a couple times, but if you don't do it properly, the pheromones that the bees actually leave behind will attract another hive. So you really got to get in there and remove all of it, or man, they'll keep coming back. But anyway, we got to go before it gets too hot. Get over to my dad's place. He lives about 30 minutes or so away. We're gonna run over there, water his garden, check it out, and then I'll take y'all along with me. Alright, so we're out here at my dad's place now. They're out of town, so come over here to water all of his plants. He's got this, I think it's an acre up here in the front, where we planted a bunch of pecan trees. I helped him with some of them, and there's a lot of fig trees as well. Whenever my fig trees get too big for the containers, a lot of the time they end up moving out here and retiring to my dad's place. See if he's got any ripe ones. Oh, I see some ripe ones. I see some ripe figs. Let's see what we got here. They start to do that droop. That's when you know they're ready. Got one right here. I believe this is, it looks like a brown turkey. That one's not quite ripe. This one is though. Oh, look at that. That's a couple ripe figs right there. I'm gonna take those. They got some in the freezer for me actually to take home and turn into jelly. Got probably a couple of figs here. I'll put y'all down. I'm gonna go check this out. Check it out. Check it out. Got 4 ripe figs right there. Let's go ahead and go around back and see what else he's got. My dad is a big fan of okra. Let's see if we got any. Oh yeah. Oh, covered in fire ants. So his okra is covered in ants. You see right there? See it right here? Now what happens with okra and a lot of hibiscus, they're very susceptible to aphids. And when you have aphids, you have ants. Aphids secrete this stuff called honeydew. When they chew on the leaves, they secrete this stuff called honeydew, and it is a very sugary substance. So ants will actually have a symbiotic relationship with the aphids. They will literally farm the aphids to create that sugary substance. But sometimes they will go and they will eat a hole in the okra and then lay their eggs and stuff like that. Whoa, look at this guy. Check out this gnarly spider under the okra. Oh my god, he's scary looking. Look at this. I'm trying to get a good shot of him. I don't know what you are, dude, but you're creepy looking. But yeah, over on this side, looks like he's got Clemson spineless okra. And these are actually pretty good. I don't see any ants on these. But what you can do is you can spray neem oil, orange oil, stuff like that will get rid of the ants. And, you know, you can get rid of the ants and the aphids at the same time. So, okra, good little snack. I like a good okra when they're little. They're slimy and chewy, but they're delicious. Let's walk out back and check out his pool. My dad has always been a real big fan of these bougainvilleas. You can actually grow them as a tree, a bush. You don't have to have them as just a trellising plant. I have this exact same one. I think it's called the torch, the blaze. The bees are all over this. There's bumblebees all over this bougainvillea right now. We got some Turk's cap over here. This is a Texas native plant. Turk's cap actually makes a little fruit, like a little tiny apple. It's really neat. Got some yuccas. And I think I saw some prickly pears on this cactus. Those look like prickly pears to y'all? They do. I don't know how to eat those. Not sure how to eat those. But I know if I take one, my dad might kill me. So I'll leave it for him. He gets back in a little bit. So I'm just over here kind of taking care of business for him while he's been out of town. Here in Texas, it has not rained significantly in probably 3 months. So if you're not watering your plants, they're dead. You can see the cows in the background. See them out there? They're all hiding under the shade. They're all enjoying that shade. They probably think that I'm my dad and I've got range cubes for them. I don't, but it looks like the fences are all good. They haven't gotten out. I'm gonna check their water here in a bit too before I leave. But let's go ahead and water the front and then we'll get out of here. Oh, well, I definitely know what I'm getting my dad for Christmas. I'm gonna get him one of those kink-free hose reels because this is a nightmare. He must have the cheapest water hose ever. It kinks every time you turn left, every time you turn right. Oh my God. Let me finish watering and we'll get out of here. All right, we're up here at Sienna Mulch, my favorite mulch yard, not because they're the closest one to me, but because they're my friends. Ashley and all them, her family run this place. So today we're gonna pick up some garden magic. I need to top off some beds, and I just like to have some on hand. Whenever I'm filling a raised bed, this Landscaper's Pride Garden Magic is my go-to. It's about $6 a bag for a cubic, 1.5 cubic feet. Good stuff. For my seed starting mix, I like to use Heirloom Soils, the works. But let's go say hi to them.
Okay. Gracias. What did you actually say you were getting?
What's that? This is my favorite stuff to use for starting seeds. Right here. I've got a couple bags at the house. It's a little pricier, but it's really good stuff for starting your seeds. I will pay a little bit more on the soil that I'm using to start my seeds. And then you can get a little cheaper when it comes to like starting to put your stuff in the ground or in containers or whatever. Just cost effectiveness. Love me some bone-eyed neem oil, that Captain Jack's. They got everything up here, all the Nelson stuff. Love me some Nelsons as well. All right, I got me some foliar feed, 1 gallon of the Microlife Ocean Harvest. Pretty much my go-to foliar feed, and we're gonna get 5 bags of the Garden Magic, so stand by. Apparently my good buddy Jorge was over here installing some oak trees. I'm gonna check them out real quick. Oh yeah, they look good. Nice bowl, no volcano, looking good, bro. Jorge's doing good. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna send them up. Y'all are in the Rose Sharon, Alvin, Pearland area. Make sure to come check out Sienna Mulch. They got a good little bit of everything here, so come check them out. All right, it is a little bit later in the day. I let it cool down. When it comes to working in the heat, I'm always trying to you know, do as much as I can. Not as little. Do as much as I can, take a break. But when it's hot midday, I usually am just taking it easy, doing some editing and stuff like that. We're gonna go ahead and unload all this soil, put it in the garage. Tomorrow I will show y'all how I fill my raised beds. The thing about growing in raised beds is that over time a lot of the soil is going to wash out, especially if it's the first year you have a raised bed. So every year I do a method called the lasagna method when I'm topping off my beds. I'll show you all that, but let's get this unloaded. Let's get out back and start watering everything. One of the plants that does really well right now with this heat is this Esperanza. You can check it out right here. It's got these beautiful yellow flowers. This one is getting morning sun and afternoon shade, and it's doing really well. But they will do great in full sun. I really love the way this one's turned out. I got it in a container for now, but it might be going in the ground up here. These shrubs are not liking this drought weather. It's been rough on them. Crepe myrtle is looking terrible. I know it's not dying. Plants, whenever they are going through like this drought, they'll either thrive or they will drop a lot of their leaves, droop, and then conserve their energy. And that's what it's doing right now. I hope it doesn't die. Plumeria seedlings are doing great. I did a whole video starting plumerias from seed. These were the first round of plumerias. The second round of plumerias I did, and these are the most recent round of plumerias that I started. I actually propagated this one from a cutting at a bar I went to. It was called the Axelrad bar, and I named this variety after it. So this was actually in the ground during the freeze and then came back. So it's going to be a pretty hardy variety. But I don't keep any of mine in the ground. Just don't want to take a chance of losing it. The ground has been so dry that my gate won't even close. It is crazy. Is it closing? Look at that. I got a feeling this is going to be the last year with this fence. But having this shade cloth structure has been a real nice addition for my plant starts. I really need to get back here and weed eat, possibly sometime this weekend. But yeah, it's been rough. Coming up over here by the Adenium Desert Rose area. One bloom that's coming up. No blooms on the plumerias right now, but they're all doing really well. For the most part, this variety, I got this variety from a plumeria show actually, and it's just not doing very good. Not doing very good at all. But everything under the shade cloth is thriving pretty well. All the tomatoes and peppers are really nice breeze tonight. Oh my god, it feels so good. This is a hibiscus propagation I did last year. Beautiful pink flower. And then my fig trees. Little figs here, little figs there. Oh, the peppers are doing really well. This is the bed that we're going to top off. You can see how much the dirt is sank. So we need to come in here and add some more soil. Pull all these weeds. I put a layer of cardboard down actually, and then top it off with some fresh soil. Usually like to go around before I start watering and check out, see if there are any ripe figs or anything, any blooms. My apple trees are doing pretty well. I got these apple trees from Leg Creek Farm. They sent them to me bare root. They're doing really well. But I gotta get back out here and prune and, well, I won't prune till the winter, but prune and weed eat, pull weeds. It's just been so hot and dry. I'm watering every single day right now. It is that time of the year where you're transitioning between like your spring and summer garden, and we're going to start moving into the fall garden. Hopefully within the next month or so we get some cooler temperatures, we get some rain. Would love some rain, but man, it is a little miserable out here right now. This is really cool right here. This is a solar powered irrigation system that someone sent me. It is a little solar panel, just like a light would be. And oh, it's going off right now. Cool. You put like a tank or a bucket of water, and what it does is you can set it how often you want it to go off. It's got a little timer there. You can set it to go off every 12 hours, every 24 hours for 5, 15, 20 minutes. And it'll drip water onto the roots of the plant. I've got 2 of these systems. They're like $30 on Amazon. But they pretty much, I water these every day still, but it's so hot. It's like a supplementation of it watering in between, kind of keeping everything alive. And these peppers, the bougainvillea, are doing really well. That is freaking awesome. I got another one I'm going to set up on this bed. And then eventually I'll probably put one on that bed. I'm thinking about digging a hole out, putting the tank in the bed, and then just refilling the bed tank every day. So we'll see how that goes. Might get another one for that bed out there with my squash. Problem you usually have with squash is like powdery mildew. And if you can avoid overhead watering, you're better off because you're not going to have to deal with that fungal issue. So we'll see. Hopefully tomorrow I can get out here and weed eat, take care of some things. But yeah, it's hot. I'm going to get these plants watered. The way my irrigation system works, I've got a RV filter right here to kind of filter out some of the chlorine and other chemicals. And there's a four-way splitter here. I've got one going this way to that half of my yard. I've got one line going this way to that side of my yard. And I got one line going here so I can hand water everything. But I also have a quick connect here to disconnect. And it'll actually water everything in this line on the side of my greenhouse. So getting crafty. You still want to make sure you check all your sprinklers because you never know when one's not working and you don't check it for a week and you find out, oh, everything's dead. So you definitely want to check that kind of stuff. But there's definitely ways to get around having to hand water every single thing every single day. Almost forgot. Got my coffee grounds got to add to the compost today. In my Vigo bed, I've installed this little composter, and all you do is you take your scraps and you stick them in here. You mix them up. I add some water when I water this bed. It's basically like an in-ground composter bin, and it really is nice. I've seen a lot of earthworms, and every time I stick my hand in a pot or a container, there's always worms in it. Duke. All right, guys, for me and Duke, y'all have a great Friday, and we'll talk to y'all later. Come to find out, nope, back up, Duke. It's the same possum that's probably gonna come back every time. I like to eat our figs. I don't blame him, I got good figs. He just wants a fig. Poor guy. I feel bad for him. He can have as many figs as he wants. I just told him to fight my dog. You okay? You alright, buddy? He was probably on the tree. He ran up pretty quick. There's a lizard sleeping right there too. It's funny. Might be the closest I've ever been to a possum. It's not a very big possum or anything. Duke didn't mess him up or anything. Oh, Duke got a patch of fur off of him. I can see on his back, right around his spine. He's not a small possum, but he's not a big possum. You said they've been eating pooping on your back porch? Does Belle have food out there? No? Well, I know what he's eating in my house. Oh, he's eating figs.